Hey y'all, just trying to knock out a few chores from a bride, get her lanterns wired up. I wanted to do kind of a piece just to talk about how to plan your trip to the Okefenokee. Now, she says that I live basically in two modes, either that I'm recovering from a trip to the Okefenokee or I'm planning a trip to the Okefenokee. And that's probably pretty accurate. But the thing you need to decide is, one, are you going to do day trips out of a park? There are a couple entrances into the park, and for me, my favorite is Stephen C. Foster, because I love to go just sit up there. Full service park. You can have power if you want to, water, whatever you need. They've got bathhouses and all the good stuff. They got a little shop there where you can get gear if you need it, and it's a neat place to set up. It's a quiet park. It's a dark sky park, so there's a lot of really good benefits of sitting up there and day tripping out to the swamp. I can carry, much more fishing gear. I can carry camera gear if I want to, more of it than what I usually do, and I can pick and choose kind of what I want to do. Do I want to do billies? Do I want to go to the back country? Do I want to go down to the Sill? So there's a lot of really good options from Stephen C. Foster for me for a day trip. But if you choose to do an overnight, now that one takes a lot more planning, and that's kind of what I wanted to do on this video. On an overnight, one, you have to determine your duration. How long are you going to stay? And when you pick that out, and I'll try to show the little chart. There's charts that are on the website that show you, and this is the refuge website. The state park and the refuge are separate entities. The state park is considered, I think, a vendor in that area, but the refuge is the national part of it, and that's where you need to go to do the overnight. That's where you're going to have all your ducks in a row there. But once you determine how many days that you want to do this for, you go through in there and look, and you'll see the different paths. Now, depending on the number of days, you could start at Stephen C. Foster and end up over near Kingfisher, or you can end up over near the Folkestone entrance. So you've got to kind of figure out where you want to go to, or if you want to loop back. We've done 3-night stays and have looped back to Stephen C. Foster, and I like that a whole lot. I just leave my truck there, don't worry about anything, just come right back there and I'm good to go. But once you determine the number of days that you're going to travel, and you look at your path. Now, step one is you have to have a profile in recreation.gov. So before you ever make the phone call, you need to have your profile ready. Now, reservations can be made up to 2 months in advance, and when you make that reservation, now you're going to call a number, and it's on that website as well. But when you call that number, guys, you're talking to a real person. So, and they're my friends, so please, everybody's trying to do these trips, and they want you to do these trips, but just be patient, because it may take several times to get through to them, and once you get through to them, they'll kind of explain to you, your options. So I would have a couple different windows open, if at all possible, a couple different paths that I wanted to choose. That way while you're on the phone, you can adapt and overcome right there. And one thing that you need to remember when you're dealing with the overnight trips is that you are the motor, because you're going into an NMZ, no motor zone. So everything that you carry, you will be paddling. You'll be paddling it, you'll be setting it up, you'll be taking it down. I've got tents that I really like that set up very fast. I think the one that I've been using lately is the Late Start 2, I believe. I think it's by Kelty, but it sets up very fast, and it takes down very fast, because you're going to be paddling where you're going. Now, most people, when they're fully loaded, are going to average about 2 miles an hour. I've talked to some that have been a little less. I've talked to some that are a little bit more. But most folks, I would average about 2 miles an hour, because you're going to be going against current in a lot of the places. Now, it's not a bad current, but it's just enough to make you think about it while you're going against it. But you're going to have to haul everything that you have. So you're going to have to haul your food, you're going to have to haul your camp stuff, everything that you have. So I pared down greatly. I still carry too much junk, but I carry far less fishing gear. I carry, only my super important camera gear, and food. Even that, I kind of pare down on what I need. Water is imperative. You got to have enough of that. But think about it. Everything that you haul, everything that you want to take, you'll be carrying. So I wouldn't do dumb stuff. I wouldn't do, radios for music. I would, pare down to just a couple lights, one for use and one for emergency. As you plan your trip, I would suggest making a list of all the stuff that you want to take. Of course, now you have to decide, am I going to put it in my kayak or my canoe, or am I going to rent a canoe or a kayak, because they have both at the state park. Now, and you got to think about it, because I mean, a canoe can carry 1,000 pounds of people and gear. I do not want to paddle 1,000 pounds of people and gear anywhere. So you can overload these things. I would make my list and then pare it down, and then pare it down again, and then pare it down again, trying to make sure that you only carry the essentials. So one other thing that I want to tell you about, when I haul a lot of camera gear, but when I do haul camera gear, now if you're doing it for commercial purposes, you've got to have a special use permit. Now the special use permit can be got by that number that you're going to call. The one thing that I tell you right now is you cannot fly a drone. You can't fly a drone anywhere in the refuge, and I don't know if you could even special use permit that, but I'm just telling you, I know a lot of people love their drones and they do some really neat stuff, but you cannot fly one there. So just want to give you that heads up. The Okefenokee is an incredibly wild and beautiful place. I've been going for, I guess, over 15 years now, and made multiple day trips and multiple overnight trips, and I haven't seen, but just a scratch of the surface, honestly. And I cannot wait to go back. But I will tell you, there are some hazards, and I'll go over that in the next video, just kind of a safety thought. But just plan your trip, and I'd say go do it. That this will be the experience of a lifetime. I've talked with paddlers that were brand new to canoes and kayaks, and yeah, it's going to take some work, but honestly, it's doable. I've seen kids do it, and I've seen older folks do it, and I promise you it'll change you deep down inside. It's such a beautiful place to experience. So I would encourage any person to give this a chance. If you have any questions, please hit me up. I'll help you all that I can. Even the woodpeckers are happy about it. But I'll help you all that I can. Like I said, the next video is going to be on kind of trip safety and some extra thoughts on that. So I just didn't want to bore y'all to death on this one. So come back for part 2. Y'all take it easy.